Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Well, I have an extensive conversation with President Trump this morning. Always very fascinating to talk to any president of the United States, but particularly one that I've known for 35 years and who has never misled me. And that's important. So most of the conversation, and again, I do not call him. Okay, that's intrusive. If there's an emergency or something, then I will, but very rarely. But I want to know about the tariffs because that affects all of us. And the U.S. economy and he knows it, is going to make or break the Trump administration. So what we did was I said, look, lay it out for me. Are you optimistic, maybe in the middle, leaning pessimistic? Where are you? So he is convinced, not hopeful, convinced he's going to get trade deals even with China. And he talked to me about the meeting with the Chinese this weekend in Switzerland. We'll report on that in a moment. And he says that the United States is in very good shape right now with negotiating all of this tariff stuff down to our benefit. That would be more jobs, higher paying jobs, and all of that. Okay. Iran looks like a little setback. Now, I didn't get into the details there too much, so I can't really report anything firm. But it's not as optimistic as it was, say, a week ago. I suggested, you never tell a president anything, okay? I suggested that the Houthi business has thrown off the mullahs because the Houthis are almost out of business. The United States is really, with its synchronized bombing, put a hurt on those jihadists big time. And there is kind of a ceasefire. So the Houthis are saying they're not going to fire on ships in the Red Sea anymore, which is what the USA wants. Okay. But again, I didn't get into great detail on Iran, but it's not as optimistic in the president's eyes as it was maybe last week. Then we talked about the second half of the year, which is really, I think it's the most important part of Donald Trump's presidency, both his full first term and this term. If he turns that economy around, if it's booming by October, he goes into Reagan territory. Now, I'm not going to bore you with what happened to Ronald Reagan after Jimmy Carter, but it's so similar to what happened to Donald Trump after Joe Biden. It's almost the same thing. If you want to know, my book, Killing Reagan, is the book. But it took Reagan a long time to get out of that Carter quagmire. But in the second term, he's roaring. And that's going to happen faster because Donald Trump is a much more aggressive president than Ronald Reagan was. So anyway, fascinating conversation. I never know when these things are going to happen. It's not like I get a heads up. Be available at 10 a.m. O'Reilly for the most powerful man in the world. His phone rings. I look down at the phone and there it is. And so I got to be on my game all the time. And that's what I try to be. Talking Points Memo is about a legal victory for the Trump administration, at least temporarily, on this trans-military stuff. Now, you may not think that's so important, but it is, because you have to take the tempo of the Supreme Court. All of this stuff about blocking deportations, about tariffs, about denying ideological concerns like Harvard and NPR, PBS, money, all going to come down to the Supreme Court. So you need to know what the justices are thinking. And this is an interesting ruling. So on January 27, 2025, President Trump issued an executive order, quote, adoption of a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. A man's assertion he is a woman and his requirement that others honor this falsehood is not consistent with humility and selflessness required of a service member, unquote. That is pretty harsh, but if you are going to run a military that consists of 1.2 million service people, you got to have discipline, okay? And in this country, we have spent, since 2015, $52 million on so-called gender-affirming care in the military. $52 million. I wouldn't pay $1. Not $1. If somebody enlists in the armed services and you're not drafted, we don't have that here, and then they decide to become the other sex, okay, you just resign. Get a general discharge. That's all. You know, we're not paying for it. I don't want to pay for anybody's gender-affirming care. I mean, maybe I'm a mean guy, but that's not on me. And I don't expect anybody to pay whatever I decide to do in my private life either. Okay? The other thing is that if you are the commander-in-chief, then you get to run the military the way you want. Okay? It's not subject to congressional approval. Only war, declaration of war is. But the way you run, you're the commander-in-chief. So anyway, Supreme Court issued an emergency lift of a block that bans transgender in the military. So it's lifting it. Okay, so for right now, if you're transgender, you can't be in the military. And if you're already there, I don't know what you do. But I guess you decide to pack it up. Now, Supreme Court said, look, we're not going to issue a written decree on this, and they did not. We're going to kick it back to the lower federal courts for their ruling, and then we'll take it up again. That's where it is. Okay, so the three liberal justices, Sotomayor, Kagan, and Brown-Jackson, they made it clear that they were dissenting, that they want this block on it. Okay, that's not a surprise. And then the Democratic Party, per se, opposes it, the ban on transgenders in the military as well. Roll the tape.
Frankly, the military has more things to worry about than the handful of transgender service members than this going out there and discriminating against transgender service members.
I don't think, I mean, look, the military does have more important things to worry about, but this shouldn't be happening. Okay? I mean, you can't have chaos in the barracks, and she should know, Senator Duckworth is an honored veteran of this country. She should know better, but politics oversees everything else. Summing up, got to take the tempo of the Supreme Court. You have to, because Donald Trump's administration is utterly dependent on that body to go forward with what it wants to do, and that's the memo. Another media phony controversy over obeying the Constitution. Drives me crazy. So you'll remember dictator on first day, right? When Trump said that about the car industry, and then the Democrats ran out and said he's going to be a dictator. He's going to be Hitler. And you'll remember good people on both sides, and they ran out and said, oh, Trump's calling the Nazis good people. When he was saying the good people on both sides of the Confederate statue debate. So you remember those. They were vivid, they were lies, and the media just does this all day long. So now we have another one. It all starts on Sunday. Meet the Press, Kristen Welker. Go.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said.
They're talking about undocumented aliens and due process. So they take the I don't know, do you need to uphold the Constitution of the United as president? And I don't know. But he's not talking about upholding the entire Constitution. He's talking about one controversy, which if you saw the whole interview, you would know. But the president, boom, takes it right out of there. Okay? And it just makes me so sick because it carries over into Congress. So we have Congresswoman Lauren Underwood out of Illinois, suburbs of Chicago. She shows up yesterday to grill Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem about all this deportation stuff. Roll the tape.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This weekend, the president made the remarkable statement that he, quote, doesn't know whether he has to uphold the Constitution. You, however, have taken a different position, both in your confirmation hearing and when you took the oath of office. You said that you were committed to complying with the Constitution. Do you still stand by that statement?
Absolutely. I believe President Trump
Excellent.
as well.
Let's start. It is also violating the fundamental right of individuals. Do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens?
The administration has the authority to.
Ma'am, I'm looking for a yes or no question. Yes or no. Do you believe the Constitution? Yes, ma'am.
Ridiculous, absurd, dishonest. What else can I tell you? Okay? Number one, she takes Trump's remark out of context. Number two, she says, this is a quote, okay? I'm going to reread it to you, all right? So she says, do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens? It doesn't grant everyone in our country the right to due process. There are different categories. So if you are an undocumented alien with a deportation order, you don't have due process. They can sweep you off the street and put you on a plane and boot you out because you already have a deportation order. If you come across today the Rio Grande River in Texas and set foot on that soil of that state, the Border Patrol can turn you right around and boot you right back to Mexico. I don't have to drag you into some courtroom. Now, this woman, this Congresswoman, Lauren Underwood, is either too stupid to know that or too dishonest in her presentation. I don't know which it is. There's no other third possibility. So ridiculous. Anyway, I was going to go over and give you a resume. I'm not even going to bother. All right, Joe Biden, the first sit-down interview since leaving office, Delaware, Hotel DuPont. Actually stayed there one time, nice hotel. It was recorded yesterday with the BBC. Strange he gives an interview to the BBC, the first one. And of course, it lasted for 28 minutes, pretty long on Biden's standards. And here was a highlight or a low light. Go.
What did you make of those scenes in the Oval Office? President Trump and President Zelensky?
I found it sort of beneath America, the way that took place. And the way we talk about now that, well, it's just the Gulf of America. Maybe we're going to have to take back Panama. Maybe we need to acquire Greenland. Maybe Canada should be. What the hell's going on here? What president ever talks like that?
Okay. Number one, President Biden violates protocol, which isn't in stone, that you shouldn't be, if you're a former president, you shouldn't be undermining a current president. But, you know, look, I could do 30 minutes on Biden's incompetence, okay? But I'm on the record, second worst president ever. Documented it in Confronting the Presidents. I'm actually writing a new Biden and Trump chapter for the paperback, which will be out, I think, in November, time for Christmas. We got Killing Evil in hardback coming out in September. But I'm writing a new chapters on Biden, and because by the time when I was writing the original Confronting the Presidents, Biden's term wasn't finished yet. Now it is, and now Trump is, I'll get a pretty good handle on Trump by midsummer. So we got two new things. But it's easy for me to, criticize Biden, so why bother, right? In today's economy, it feels like we're all walking on very shaky ground. Prices are high, credit card debt piling up. But if you are a homeowner, you don't have to face that stress alone. My friends at American Financing can help you get control. They'll help you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest credit cards. You could save an average of $800 a month. And they may even close your loan in as little as 10 days. Costs nothing to get started, and you might even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Times like these, that extra cushion can go a long way. So don't let rising debt, economic uncertainty get the best of you. Please call American Financing right now, 800-906-2440. 800-906-2440, or you can visit AmericanFinancing.net. So, last day for Mexico, and we're going to have to deal with them on our YouTube bonus. Here's our channel, youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. I want you to join up. It is free. Go to the mail. Bill Giovanello, Dublin, Ohio. Bill, growing old and having little money is very difficult, as we said yesterday. Like you, I was taught at an early age to save 10% of what I made. Discipline required to save is one thing, but not touching what you save is even more problematic. What most people do not understand is how money left untouched compounds over time. So you get interest, then you leave it there, you get more and more and more and more amounts of capitalism. Bill Scheel, Bill, you stated that President Trump hasn't done anything about insurance rights. Keep in mind, almost all insurance is regulated by the states. True, but not true. So the big insurance companies, they cross state lines. State Farm, Allstate, Liberty, all of these, the little gecko guy, okay? Once you cross state lines, the Commerce Department takes over. I think that all the states and the Fed should look at price gouging for insurance rates and look at it hard and institute big fines because we're getting gouged, no doubt in my mind. George Anderson, Freeland, Maryland. On what grounds is Harvard suing the federal government? That the president has no authority to stop money, tax money, from going to Harvard and other private institutions. Congress regulates that. That is the basis of the lawsuit. Brad Paget, Laurel, Montana. Longtime listener, recent new premium member. Thank you, Brett. My question, do you think the Confederation of States will ever happen? No. It's way too difficult. You need billions of dollars to get that together. Nobody's going to do it. Not in my lifetime. Freda, Salkin, Woodland Hills, California. Many months ago, you mentioned, O'Reilly, a solution to the debt problem. It was the government selling the oil on federal land, putting all the profit into paying down the debt. I still believe that should happen. I hope President Trump will use a large portion of what we get from Anwar and other federal drilling sites to pay down the debt. That is the way to go. Blake Christensen, Phuket, Thailand. Ooh, pretty exotic locale. I am under attack for voting and supporting President Trump here. The multinational visitors are inflamed about the tariffs. How would you deal with this? I would go snorkeling. Can't hear them. A little mask, a little snorkel, get the fins. Boom. I adore that stuff. People know what they're talking about. Kent Austin, Longmont, Colorado. During the town hall on News Nation, James Carville said that every Democratic president has outperformed every Republican president in economic areas. Is that true? Do you think it's true? Come on. Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, just to name one transition. I could name 10. Shirley, Bill, you complained that there is nowhere to report spam text messages. Here is the address. Okay. It is reportfraud.ftc, okay, Federal Trade Commission.gov. Report fraud, one word, .ftc.gov. Thank you, Shirley. That's very good information. I don't think they're going to do anything about it, but I'm going to report it. Marie Bronson, Miami, Florida. My husband and I are grateful for your truthful, honest reporting, O'Reilly, for weeding out the unnecessary noise that the others waste our time on. It really makes a difference. I recently renewed my concierge membership. Thank you very much, Marie. The gifts arrived yesterday. I got 2 books I've not read, an amazing Not Woke mug, and I'm having coffee in it right now. Listen, this is the best deal in America right now. Concierge membership to BillO'Reilly.com. My team will help you in anything you need. You get a free book, all right? You get discounts on all of our stuff. I just don't know. There is no better deal. It's an insurance policy for your life. Okay, once you go to the Get Mom Not Woke mug, pretty late now. Sunday's Mother's Day. Okay, but you can still, we'll try to get them to you. And you can get Killing the Witches in conjunction with the Not Woke Mom mug. For Dad, we got all kinds of great stuff. We got Not Woke Dad mug with Killing Crazy Horse, one of the most action-packed books. We have together Not Woke mug and the Not Woke baseball hat together. And at a very low price. Don't tell Dad. Dad will think you're spending a lot of money on them. Okay? And then we have the whole bundle. Every killing book plus confronting the presidents. All right? Now, if you really like Dad or Granddad, this is what you want to give them. That is a tremendous gift. Word of the day, no chuffiness. CHUFFINES. No chuffiness. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. Back with a final thought. Tax day's over, but for many Americans, the trouble is just beginning. If you missed the April 15th deadline or still owe back taxes, listen up. The IRS is filing more than 5,000 new tax liens every day. And with tools like property seizures, bank levies, wage garnishments, they are applying pressure at levels we have never seen. But Tax Network USA has you covered. Are you self-employed or a business owner? They specialize in cleaning up financial chaos to get you back on track. You can still regain control. The consultation is absolutely free. Acting now could stop penalties, threatening letters, and surprise levies from escalating. So please call 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/bill. Deadline is passed. Let Tax Network USA help you before the IRS makes their next move. 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/bill. There is a lot of talk about government debt, but the real crisis is personal debt. You need Done with Debt. They have unique strategies to help end your debt fast so you can keep more of your hard-earned money. And they will not try to sell you a loan. They're tough negotiators. Will go one-on-one with your credit card and loan companies to drastically reduce bills, eliminate interest, erase penalties. Clients end up with more money in their pocket on month one. And they don't stop until you're debt-free. Take a few minutes. Visit donewithdebt.com. It's free, but listen, some solutions are time sensitive, so you have to move quickly. Go to donewithdebt.com. Donewithdebt.com. Tell them Bill sent you. Here's a final thought of the day, a reminder tomorrow on the CW network, linear television. I'll be doing Donald Trump's first 100 days in his second term, an hour special. You will want to watch this. Roll the tape.
Should Trump, should Republicans, should the country pay attention to the crowds of AOC and Bernie, not just the crowds, but the energy and this anger they appear to be tapping into?
It's not AOC and it's not Bernie. It is you.
Waste of time. This is just a niche, younger audience that are socialists, and that's what they want. It's like a hard metal group, all right? Metallica. I'm never in a million years going to sit through Metallica, ever. I mean, because I don't want the headache. But Metallica comes in and sells thousands of tickets to Metallica people. The Bernie Sanders and AOC, they're Metallica people. All they want to do is hear socialism. Yay! All right, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Thursday night, on the CW network. You like this? You like it. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, Sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.